Good morning, everybody. Ben Oguntala from Payments and Co. Uh, we are specialists in preventing card data breaches, and we help organizations to identify where there's a possibility of a card data breach and how to prevent them. Today, I would like to talk to you about the recently announced card data breach from Questo. Questo is a city walking app, and there's some certain things about this that really bothers me and that should raise an alarm for most uh, decent loving app developers out there, and lessons should be learned from this. The first thing to notice is Questo is the parent company of Morris Communication. Morris Communication is where the incident was announced. But there's something odd about the way it was announced and the activities that happened. So I'm going to talk about that first. Then I will dig into the problems with what they are saying. Off the bat, I have a feeling either the organization is not taking this cybersecurity and card data security seriously, or there's a kind of complacency going on within the organization. I don't know. I'm not connected to Questo, never heard of Questo before. I'm just doing my analysis for general public interest reasons. I have no access to any of their confidential files, and I'm using publicly available information to make this session available to you. Now, the first thing that strikes me as very, very odd is the fact that the incident took place in October 2025. So they say between the 1st of October 2025 and 9th of October 2025, the files were accessed by unauthorized personnel. So keep that in your mind. Files were accessed by unauthorized personnel. So that's what they say happened, right? And we gotta believe that because we have no contradicting information to that effect. The problem is that is not sufficient. They haven't explained how those files were accessed. Now, to give you a bit of a background, Questo has 1 million users and available in 1,000 cities. So what that tells you is this is a global problem, right? And why would this situation occur without following the due process? Now, I note, and I'm not using this against Romanians, I'm not saying anything negative about Romania, I'm just noting the fact that it is a company based in Romania. Now, from a cybersecurity point of view, that raises all sorts of red flags, right? And it's a bit, and I'll put myself, look, I'm originally Nigerian. If you tell me an application is registered in Nigeria, it will raise all sorts of red flags, especially if you're a cybersecurity professional in the West. And the reason for that is the organization then has to do more to prove it is beyond reproach and it is doing things the way it should be done. The red flags I'm going to flag here indicate to me that the stereotype associated with Romania is going to come to light in a minute. First thing to notice is what I would regard as a very disrespectful way of treating their customers. It feels very disrespectful. If the incident occurred 10th of October, or sorry, 1st of October to 9th of October, and that's when they gained the unauthorized access, they contacted the connected or the affected users 17th of July. 2026. Now, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. 10 months after an incident occurred, did they report it to those affected? 10 months. That's bad, right? That's big red flag number one from a privacy point of view. So the reason why Romania or Nigeria would have raised a red flag with me is the fact that, are they following the same protocol of engagement as the rest of the Western world is supposed to, i.e. what is a reasonable level of protection you should be giving your customers. 10 months after the incident occurred is not a reasonable amount of time. What were they doing, right? And in the notice, which is given by Morris Communication, there is no indication of what happened. They are saying unauthorized access was gained into files. Now, we know for a fact that the files had credit card number in them. Now, if your file has credit card numbers in them, then that begs the question, which is one of the first things you do from PCI compliance audit, which is, how do you take card payment? Where does the card information go? Where does it sit, and how does it get to the bank? What that means when they say unauthorized access gained into files, and that those files contain credit card data, is simply the following. When you, the customer or the app user, register on the app, so let's call the app here, right? A copy of your credit card, CVV, and all your confidential information is being stored within their CDN, the corporate data network, right? This contradicts what they claim in their privacy policy. The privacy policy states that all confidential credit card data are processed by third parties, and they actually name the likes of Google Pay, Apple Pay, and so on. Well, there's a contradiction there. If the privacy information is correct, then card data should not have been found here. If card data was found here, it's because the privacy notice is wrong or false. Now, there is no indication that they are PCI compliant, and you have no business taking card data from customers unless you are PCI compliant. And if you are PCI compliant, you should at least tell the customers on the app that you are PCI compliant. I couldn't find any notice of such indicating that they are PCI compliant. So what business does Questo have taking card payment? Second part, in the use of the app, when you scattered across the world, 1 million users as they say, when you inform the customers of what happened, you have a duty to tell them how it happened. You have a duty to tell them what you are doing now to fix the problem. So what does this indicate to us? Number one, there's an information security issue, a big one. There's an application security issue, right? A massive one. And there's an app development security issue. Why is that? Why is this important? Information security should be the foundation of this organization, right from off the bat. The way in which they operate as a corporate entity, the way in which their customers operate, and the way in which the developers of the app operate. This kind of behavior, where you're waiting 10 months before you inform your customers of a breach, is horribly bad. Horribly bad. And if anything, the lawyers that are going to be lining up right now to sue Questo are going to be looking at that in detail to find out what happened. Second issue is, so information security, we said one. Second one is application security. I couldn't find anything to indicate to me that they have a robust application security framework. If you have anything that takes card payment, then the least you want to do is make sure the app is secure. There's no way you're going to be able to achieve security to the extent that provides assurance to your customers unless you have a robust cybersecurity framework in place. Then the app development. Now, this is why I go back to the fact that the fact that they did not explain how it happened. It may have happened by ransomware attack. It may have happened by the fact that those who gain unauthorized access just use access control weaknesses in their policies to gain access. Nobody knows. In fact, in view of the fact that we don't have the policies to support what they do, clarity or more respect for the customers is certainly needed to be able to explain to them what happened, to be able to explain to them what is going to happen now to fix the problem and how this is going to be prevented in future. That is where I coined the phrase, there's an indication of disrespect for the customers to the point where it warrants more investigation. Now, the owner of the platform is a serial entrepreneur, right? And if you're a serial entrepreneur, what that should come with is a foundation of security, because that means everything else that the entrepreneurs touch could be tainted with the same brush. So I hope this has been useful to you. If you have any questions, drop me an email. Thank you.